Hello and welcome to this video in which Robin and I wanted to thank you for 1,000 subscribers.
A disclaimer. Israel shouldn't be allowed to participate at the Eurovision Song Contest 2025. The shortest and simplest reason being that I find the actions of the Israeli government to be abhorrent and their broadcaster isn't a separate entity. My reasons in their entirety, however, are numerous and too detailed for a disclaimer like this, but videos closely aligning with my point of view are listed in the description. I encourage you to watch those videos and do something. Further resources are added as and when they become relevant. I'll stop addressing this when it no longer needs to be addressed.
She is leaving now, but I am just a little bit in disbelief. I can't actually quite believe it that we have managed to reach 1,000 subscribers. That is something that I had set out to do last April. I thought to myself it would be really nice to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of next March, and we've managed to do it before the end of February. The channel hit 1,000 subscribers on the 25th of February 2025, which is not a palindrome, but almost is. And that's just a really lovely date to have hit that on. It's not a particularly special day to me for any other reason, but it's, yeah, a really lovely date number-wise because it's almost a palindrome. And I'm very, very grateful. Thank you ever so much for the 1,000 subscribers, honestly. There's a few more things that I didn't mention while filming that I would like to have included in this video, so for completion's sake, I'll put them in as these just selfie videos. First of all, I mention a lot of various old videos on the channel throughout the duration of this video, so I'll make sure to put hopefully all of them down in the description below with timestamps if you're curious about any of them. I wanted to just take this video to go into the history of the channel a little bit for myself, just so I don't forget it going into the future, and to take the opportunity to introduce proper channel branding. I have been wanting to for a while, but I never really got around to it, so this is a pretty good excuse to introduce some. And I have been giving it some thought for months already, and concretely for about a month. So it's ready to go. I will be changing everything before I upload this video, so you can see what it looks like now. I will go into the history of the channel first though, and then go into this new branding concept for myself. I haven't studied graphic design in any official capacity, so I don't know that it's any good. But I've created bits and pieces of channel branding. I created the channel because I was watching quite a lot of Eurovision content in 2022. I started getting into Eurovision properly only directly after Eurovision 2021. There was one photo of Damiano David with his leg up, the champagne bottle in hand, and those high heels at the end of his leg, and I was like, what is happening there? I saw that one too many times on Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter basically since. Like a couple of months after that, I left Twitter mostly by accident, and that was a good decision, to be honest. Didn't really need it, but just before I left Twitter, that photo managed to change the trajectory of my life a little bit. And yeah, so then for this 2022 season, I fell pretty hard pretty quickly for all Eurovision related content, and I was watching quite a bit. I thought, why not add my 2 cents? I want to add my opinion to this discussion. I also miss YouTube because I had a YouTube channel previously where I no longer want to make videos about that topic. And that channel, after 3 years of making content, almost 3 years of making content, hadn't even hit 100 subscribers. So to me, after 1.5 years of properly making content, 1,000 subscribers is just insanity. I wanted to make the videos for myself on both channels, so I wasn't expecting much. I did create the 2022 top 40 video with clips of the songs in it originally, but something created a copyright strike. I want to say it was slow-mo. It might have been multiple. I got overwhelmed by that, so I just cut them all out, so it doesn't have any clips in it. And I've only relatively recently learned how to be able to distort the videos at all and add videos in videos is also a relatively new thing to me. I've been editing videos for many years privately at home and for the old YouTube channel, but putting video in video is to me still a relatively new skill. I obviously knew how to do it last season because I was making videos with video, but to me it still feels like a new skill, so I'm actively learning new things for this channel as well. In 2023 I made a few more videos, still a top 37, but then I also, on a whim, made a couple of videos predicting things for Eurovision 2023. I think maybe it was just the one or maybe it was two, and then I also made videos from actual Eurovision 2023. I did also make a video from Eurovision 2022. And I made a few more videos because it was an outlet at that point already. It wasn't just about throwing in my 2 cents and missing YouTube. It was also about, I am talking about this Eurovision thing to my family and friends way too much. Let me find another outlet for that. So that was a big reason why in 2024, after the Eurovision 2023 season, which to me currently is still the best Eurovision. I have watched the other ones going backwards, back to 2017, and I know there are a few beloved years in there, but probably because I was able to experience it as it was happening, 2023 is my favourite edition. I realised I needed this outlet to not bore my family and friends to death with Eurovision. So I started properly in November 2023 with Slimon's song being released, Mon Amour, and making an Equinox video about my expectations for the season. Didn't really fully believe that I managed to go throughout the full season making so many videos, and that I'd also make videos in so many countries and so many different cities. A lot of videos outside, considering I had never really made videos outside like that before. So I was, to be honest, impressed with myself, still am, and I've now managed to continue for the 2025 season. Even in the summer, I had recorded a few videos. I hadn't edited any of them or uploaded any of them. I might still do that at some point if I think they're good enough, whenever I get the time to again, which is probably only after Eurovision 2025. But I was still thinking about the channel over the summer. Reaction to Eurostar as well. And that's also why the channel is called Luza Space 22 and not ESC something like a lot of Eurovision channels, because I wanted to have the flexibility to add non-Eurovision things. So if you go back to June 2024, I've uploaded quite a few clips from an I Don't Know How But They Found Me concert. That's a band from the States, and I wanted to be able to add non-Eurovision-y things. Obviously the majority of my content is Eurovision. It's going to be mostly, almost entirely Eurovision, but the odd thing here or there might not be, and that's why the channel is called what it's called. I wanted something fairly flexible, and 22 because that's the year that the channel got started. There's now another good reason to have 22 in the name, but I'm not gonna be saying that. And I also keep uploading concert videos throughout, off and on seasons, especially a lot of Děkuju, because they are my favourite band by far. Because quite frankly, I enjoy watching other people's concert videos fairly often. I really enjoy watching mine back. So it's a good way to store them for me, to be able to access them from wherever, whenever. But also, they seem to come across fairly well. Quite a few people enjoy watching them. And recently I've especially found if I create one whole video of the concert, I try to make it clear that it's not an official video from anyone. I hope that comes across as obvious, but I really enjoy that. And I started making one full video of the concerts because when watching pre-party videos from last year, from 2024, I was watching those videos in playlists, and that was all well and good if the playlist existed, but it was still frustrating to deal with ads between every single video. Now I'm paying for a YouTube family plan, so that wouldn't even be an issue for me, but I thought it's more considerate for other people to put it all in one long video. I can't control YouTube ads, or I couldn't at that point, so I don't know how many ads it put in there. I'm just still hoping it's less than if it was a playlist with all the videos being separate. And it's also a good opportunity to put in little clips of how getting to the venue looks like as well, and things like that. So that's why I also make these full-length YouTube concert videos, and I hope you guys enjoy them as well. I try not to spam too much, but sometimes there's a few concerts in a row. Like last October was particularly crazy, of Baby Lasagna, Achille Lauro, Caria, all within 1 week, and that's just how it goes. I have also made a whole video about why I can't just enjoy concerts the way everybody else seems to. I've also got that listed in the description. Just wanted to point that out, especially because I forgot to mention that video, and that is a video that I'm really proud of. It took a lot of work, and it only takes 2 minutes, the actual proper video part itself. So if you'd like to give it a watch, please do. I think it's interesting, and I put a lot of work into it. Now, onto the actual channel branding that I'm hopefully going to use going forward, but I am open to suggestions. So if you've got any constructive criticism, please do let me know down in the comments below what you think I could be doing differently. I have created these bubbly flags for each of the countries that is participating in Eurovision 2025. I also do have plans to create flags for the countries who aren't participating this year. They have this dark blue background, mostly inspired by this jumper. I don't know what the exact RGB or hex color value of this jumper would be, but dark blue, very dark blue, is also my favorite color in general. So it's RGB 0 red, 0 green, 66 blue, because that's easy to type out on the keyboard and I like the shade, and turns out in hex that's 000042, so also easy to remember. That's the color I've chosen for the backgrounds. The actual colours of the flags, I used multiple websites to compare them to have the exact right colours, I hope, of the flags in them. And then I made the grid be fairly big, but not too overwhelming, so that I can represent the flags as closely as possible within the bubbles. They're not perfect. I've also decided I can only split the bubbles in half. I'm not going to do any quarters or anything smaller than that. So some flags do look slightly strange. Czechia's triangle isn't quite a triangle, it's a pentagon, and Portugal's crest is horrendous, quite frankly. But overall, I think most of the flags look good enough. So I wanted to create that to have my own flags, to know that they're the right colours, that I'm not just downloading random flags from various websites and the colours don't actually quite match, and also to be able to see at a glance that those are my flags for the channel. I will also create some other bits and pieces for the background of thumbnails that aren't the flags, but still using the bubbles so that it's all coherent. This dark blue and colourful bubbles or circles is also something that I have used as branding previously before for a project that didn't go anywhere really. So clearly I am drawn to this style of branding. And the background colour of these flags is this very dark blue, because both black and white wouldn't work, because some flags have black in them and some flags have white in them, and then you would not be able to see an entire row, basically. I don't like making thumbnails. I don't know anybody that does. I think everyone seems to complain about it. The only time I've ever heard someone not complain about thumbnails was ESC Tom, Eurovision Tom, when the UMK songs were released this week. I think he said something along the lines of, oh, I'm feeling really inspired to make these thumbnails based on these songs. That's the only time I've ever heard someone not complain about thumbnails, but I personally don't really enjoy making them, so I've tried to streamline it as much as possible for myself. I've taken a thumbnail photo shoot and I'm using the same photos over and over again and adding Robin to the thumbnails and finding photos of the performances each time, and I've now gotten used to it again, because there was a long period where I wasn't making thumbnails. I might still make them retroactively, so by the time you're watching this maybe you won't even be able to see that I haven't got thumbnails. But that is possibly my least favourite part of making YouTube videos. So I have just simplified the process as much as possible for myself. I've chosen fonts for my channel as well. TWSenMT for anything that I do on the laptop, and the default Samsung font for anything I do on my phone, with an outline so that it has contrast regardless what colour background it's on, hopefully. I've chosen that. I've chosen the colours, and the channel logo is something that I have been considering and conceptualising for a while. I did have it be a lot more full, and I still think it's maybe a little bit much, but I cannot reduce it anymore myself without input from more people. I'd be especially grateful for any advice or opinions about the eyes and the whiskers of the logo, if you've got any ideas about that, because I have made so many different versions and asked a lot of people in my life and everyone seems to have different opinions. So if you've got any ideas that are good, please let me know. I can't figure out the eyes or the whiskers to get them to be in such a way that I like them. It's Robin, but her ear, that's black, I realised the shape matches fairly well. There's a Eurovision heart on its side. So that is going to be the channel logo. And I've put Luca Space 22 underneath her face in little circles to represent these bracelets, kind of. And the bubbles on the flags also are meant to be a small callback to bracelets and badges, because I make them and give them out at concerts and trade them. So that's the idea behind why the bubbles. It's also a form of grid, and because 2025 is a relatively important year for my channel, seeing as this is the year that we have managed to hit 1,000 subscribers. The branding for this year's Eurovision is this sort of poster printing hearts thing, and those circles are also sort of emanating that. They're different sizes, which ruins that, but it's also in that direction. So to me, the bubbles make perfect sense. I hope you like them. I know they're just in the background of the thumbnails for now. I might also add them as on-screen graphics at some point, but I'm really quite pleased with how the flags have turned out. Speaking of the bracelets, I am also this year creating bracelets with my channel name and Instagram on the underside of the bracelets that have been 3D printed. So if you ever see me at a concert, you can get some with the channel name and my Instagram handle on them. Speaking of Instagram, feel free to go follow me there. It's Luca Lingui, which should be easy enough. I didn't want them to be called the same thing. I thought they might be separate, and now I've sort of merged them together. So there's 2 different handles, but I post mostly photos from concerts there, because I take my little camera to the concerts and take pretty good quality photos, I think. And I do also do some other random things sometimes. I've got a video going to see Nemo's Eurovision outfit at the exhibition in Zurich, and I've got a much more chaotic version of the Carpe Diem 2 years edit. There's some interesting things on there, I hope, so if you'd like to go follow me, please do. That is everything I hope that I wanted to say in this video. Thanking you so much for 1,000 subscribers. That's a really big dream come true. If you didn't know, that is also the threshold for monetization. If you've also got 4,000 watch hours, which I, a peek behind the curtains, consistently have between 1,500 and almost 2,000 watch hours every single month. So 4,000 watch hours within a year is not an issue for me on this channel. So I've now applied for that. I've added an AdSense account to my YouTube channel, and now my channel is being reviewed for monetization. I hope it will go through. I don't see a reason why it shouldn't, but who knows. I hope it works out, and I don't know how much money the channel will be making. I have no idea, but it's all going to be going back into Eurovision things. Obviously, maybe I'll finally get proper lighting. Maybe at one point I'll get a better camera or better mics. I don't know. But right now I'm mostly excited that potentially the earnings from the channel could be covering my entry tickets to the most important Eurovision events to me. So Ačiū, Eurovision concert, and Het Grote Songfestivalfest. Based on estimates of average YouTube channel earnings, those things could just about be covered in a year, which would be very exciting to me, because right now it's all going out of the money that I managed to save. So if me rambling about Eurovision manages to be able to cover those costs, that would be fantastic and so exciting. I don't think it's going to be much more. I don't expect it to be something that I can live off of, but just having that supplementary little bit to be able to create hopefully more and higher quality Eurovision content, because having 1,000 subscribers also means the channel gets seen as a more serious source of content, I guess. So hopefully that means more interviews and things like that. Is just very exciting. That is all just so exciting. Thank you ever so much, sincerely. So as I keep saying, thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers, and thank you ever so much for watching this video. I can't believe that you've managed to watch this whole rambly video. Thank you so much for doing that. If you did really like it, please remember to also literally like it on YouTube, so the YouTube algorithm knows, and maybe leave me a comment down below and share it with someone else you think might enjoy watching the video as well. But thank you ever so much just for watching the video itself, though. That's a great help as it is. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. That goes me out of it. I'll see you in the next one that shows up on your feed. Bye!